So here's a few thoughts. Personally speaking, I don't think we should be aiming for any UK or American averages of anything, because it's not good enough. Our destiny is to rejoin Northern Europe in our heads. We already have the tenement style of housing uniquely in the United Kingdom that would make lots of adjustments easy. We have been voting in a social democratic style for the last 30 years. We have embraced ways of sharing power up to a certain point. But we have to make a concerted effort to move forward from here. If I see any more pilots, I'll scream, and particularly when it comes to questions of early years and outdoor kindergarten, we know this works and we should just get on with it. And we need to make sure that systems are right from the start. You probably find this quite hard to read. These are just some thoughts. But in a way, I'm happy to leave it to other people with more of a mind for detail. What I'm interested in is whether you want to run your lives. Because if you don't, why do you want to run your country? I have no interest whatsoever in seeing an old new boss same as the old boss. I have no interest in living in a country which worries that its fellow person hasn't got the capacity to decide whether or not to do things that health and safety currently tells we can't do. I want to think that I'm living amongst people who are perfectly willing and able to run their own lives. So that's the contents of the book. I thank you very much for patiently listening without anybody audibly snoring at this point. And if you've got questions, which I rather hope you have, fire away. Thank you very much. Dave, are we definitely out in our ear of age, yeah?
Do you know if the SNP is doing anything to remedy the
we're not hearing the mics at the moment. Nigel's coming to fix it. You're asking if the SNP have done anything to fix the dichotomy between places like Wick and Hammerfest. I have to say I don't think so, because I think what's happening is a centralising tendency in Scotland at the moment, because it doesn't look like there's enough value in what looks like lots of repetitive, small, duplicating. I'm not sure that actually, to be fair, anyone from any party, apart from potentially the Greens, have got the idea that small creates lots of little fulcrums of energy. It creates, it's like connectivity between cells. I don't think that's the way that anybody's looking at it, and I think the Community Empowerment Bill will be more pilots, and will be more, what are we going to do with community councils? I mean, let's just dump them if we're not going to do something proper at a community level, because at the moment this is just face-saving, and I'm not sure they've decided what to do about that either.
Do you think it's more usable?
Well, it is.
Like me.
Let's see. It is. And as far as questions of land growth, people sort of imagine that a Robespierre-like froth descends on the mouths, on the lips of all those interested in land reform. If we were to simply apply the tax base that should be applied, it is in other countries, so that business rates are applied to sporting estates and primogeniture is scrapped. This is an extraordinary one. When the 10th Duke of Buccleuch inherited £132 million from the 9th Duke of Buccleuch in the form of jewellery, property, land and paintings, his 3 siblings got 50,000 quid each. They can't push for a share of land because we still allow that to be handed on to the eldest son. Now, the English abolished primogeniture in 1926. The rest of Europe got rid of it with the Napoleonic Code in the 1800s. We're weird. So, there's plenty of things here which could be done, which are only applications of what is fairly normal anywhere else. There's two other thoughts. It stuns me to know that the Americans and British went to Japan after the war and saw how the complete control of land by the emperor had allowed a dictatorship to develop. So they changed that, instigated land reform, came back here, did diddly squat. In Germany, the same observation was made, which was that power then had to be broken down and shared across all the Länder and all the very powerful municipalities of Germany. It's part of what has made their success story. Did we do it here? No, we didn't. So all the time, it's perfectly possible for these things to be done, they just don't get done here.
Time for one more question. I just wanted to ask one very quick question. The book is called Blossom, which is a very feminine word. And in the book, you mentioned that Scottish politics, or you feel that Scottish politics, is a very macho enterprise. Do you think it is? Is that the problem, that women don't enter the political arena because they think it's a bit too macho?
Well, yes. But the thing is, I find an awful lot of debates we have about every aspect of politics tremendously over-focused on minutiae, on mechanics. It's like, did any nation on the earth ever become independent and have a slightly lower level of corporation tax? No. Did anybody swap their car because there's a pretty snappy camshaft in that one? No. There's a whole proposition to be made. And this almost fetishization of politics, which keeps breaking whole things down into lots of tiny compartments, which can be analysed, sized, discussed, and slightly obsessed and frothed over, doesn't allow us to recomposite the whole. It's the whole of us that we need to try to put together again. It's a whole different idea of how we could govern ourselves we should be looking for. And when you've visualised it, you can then figure out what constitutional tools you need to do the job. But at the moment, this is like a blooming constitutional car mechanics convention. You've got all the tools in first. Nobody's even decided what the job is. So Blossom is trying to say, actually, can we get back to the natural processes we see happening around us, which is that there are buds, there is potential, but you need structural things to achieve blossom. You need the right soil, you need shelter, and you need some degree of management. All the tools in a garden shed will not help a garden that has been badly managed on those structural ways. So we need to change the structure of things in Scotland to give the plants a chance. Because at the moment there's too much that's basically overlying a pretty vibrant little garden.
And I think I would vote you as head gardener of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, the book is available outside. I do believe it will be signed by Lesley. She gave me a copy of the book, but she hasn't signed it. So I can't sell it on eBay. And I'm sure it will be available for a chat to. Ladies and gentlemen, Lesley Riddoch, thank you.